Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is still doing well, and welcome to this night-ending bonus. Before we jump into it, a couple links. As many of you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, channel membership, and the merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Links to Patreon, PayPal, and channel membership is in the description below. Merch displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support the channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It does not cost a cent. Click the like button, takes half a second. If you don't want to miss out on any of the informative uploads I put out daily, click that bell icon, and folks, please leave a comment. Why? Well, because all of these things really do help the channel to continue to grow and go. And yes, folks, they definitely do matter. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's jump in to this night-ending bonus upload, shall we? A couple days ago, I shared an experience or a old interview with Victor, and I said there's two experiences that Victor shared with us that were probably my favorite. One being the Florida hunt, and the other being the St. Louis hunt. And I'm going to share the St. Louis hunt with you right now. All right, everybody. Tonight I have almost the co-host of this channel. I have Victor with us, and he is fresh back from the hunt. Victor, how are you?
I'm fine, getting some rest.
Good. Now, this hunt you're not going to be able to discuss for about a couple weeks, maybe a week, but
Yep.
A lot of people, for some reason, want to hear about the hunt in St. Louis, and I myself as well. So I think we'll step into that, and then we'll chew the fat a little bit too.
Okay. Well, how it all came to be, St. Louis, there was some garbage people that was running one of the streets right close to the arches, and they was running late in the evening. People were still around and everything, and they seen what they thought was two huge dogs in a trash bin. So he's this trash guy, always, just been able to holler at these dogs and run them off, and it was right there at the arch, and so he jumps off back the truck and starts hollering at these things, and they turn and face him, and he says they look like Doberman pinchers except bigger. He said he just kept walking and was turned his back to him to lead this truck into where this dumpster was, and the driver sees him. And as he's backing up, he's hollering for them dogs to go on down the alleyway, or whatever the little drive was right there. And the truck was pulling in towards him, and he was helping guide because it was narrow. And he was motioning for the truck to come on and on and on, and the truck just stopped. And he's getting frustrated with the driver because it's late in the day. He's wanting to be done. And he's motioning, and the driver stopped the truck and was just looked like he was trying to pound the front of the windshield out. And finally, he turned turned. He thought maybe the dogs was coming at him or something. And he turned, and they're standing on two legs. And he said they was about 7.5 foot tall. Said they probably weighed 300 pounds apiece. And he said when he seen them, he said their eyes was just blood red. Just as red as they could be. Just blood red. And he said that was the first thing he called about was their eyes. And he said then they almost, it was like they was sneering at him. And he runs back towards the truck, but the truck is in this drive, and it's too narrow. He can't open the door. He can't get past the truck on either side. So the truck's either got to go forward or back. So he's starting to motion back for the truck to back out. And these things start stepping towards him on two legs. And he's pounding on the front of the truck, and this guy's trying to back the truck up, and the horns going beep, beep, beep. You know how they beep going backwards? He's looking back, and they're taking these longer steps, and he keeps looking at their eyes. He said that's all he could think to do, was to look at their eyes. You know, he's doing the wrong thing. He's looking straight at their eyes. He says finally he gets to where the truck just gets out of the thing. He swings around, he jumps up in the door, and the guy don't even slow down. He said just as soon as he got in, he hit it. He was gone. Said they pulled up about 2 blocks, and there was a police car coming down through there, and they flagged him and told him what was going on. And he said that he would go check it out, and it was a black police officer. And he goes down there and pulls in the alley, and it's got dark enough now to where he turns on this light, his searchlight, on the side of the car like he's searching for something. And he pulls up in there, and he's pulling up closer and closer to the dumpster. And just as he gets to the dumpster where he can't go past, he flashes above the dumpster, and he catches 2 sets of eyes. And he said they was red glowing coals. And he said he didn't even try to get out of his car. He just backed out of there, stayed right there, kept the light shining up through there, called for backup, called for animal control, and said when they got 3 more cars there, and animal control got there, and he said he told them what the garbage truck driver and the guy had told him and what he had seen. And this animal control officer said, well, they probably got walked up on something behind the dumpsters and was looking across it trying to get in there to get food. And he said, you're not hearing us. They said they was walking on 2 legs. And the animal control officer just brushed them off. And he said that he'd go back there and set some cages, and he carried a catch, some kind of catch thing that you put around their necks, you know, if you can get close enough to them. And he carried that, and he carried 2 cages. And police officers they didn't even go back there with him. He said he didn't need no help. He was carrying them. And all of a sudden they hear him holler, and here he comes, wide open. And he says, them ain't dogs. He said, they're something else. And he said, I don't know what they are. He said, they're at least 7 in height, 8 foot tall. He said, they got arms like men and back legs like dogs. And he said, I don't know what they are. And he said, all I seen was the snouts on them and the eyes and the hands and arms and legs. he said that was all I needed to see. And he had dropped the cages and came out. And he said, what do we need to do? He said, y'all need to take your shotguns back there and just kill what's ever back there. Well, police officers gathered up. There was 7 officers there. They had 3 shotguns between them. So all 7 officers start back there, three shotguns and 4 officers with handguns. And they get back there and they find where he's dropped his cages and all, and they're all looking around with their flashlights and shining them this way and that way and every way. And they don't find nothing. They can't find nothing. They don't see no eyes. They don't see nothing. And they come out and talk to this animal control officer. And they all walk back in there together, and he points out to where they was, and there wasn't nothing there then. And they started making fun of him, accusing him of being drinking and everything. And they was wondering what to do. You know, they was joking with him, but they was taking him serious too, police was. And he said, well, what we need to do is get the Department of Natural Resources down here and find out what these things are. So the next morning, they got in touch with the Department of Natural Resources. And they come down there, and they go back, and the same animal control officer, and he shows them where they was, and they talked to him, and they talked to the 2 trash workers. And he ends up making the call to our office. And me and one more agent got dispatched up there to there. We went by and looked at where they was, and there wasn't nothing behind the dumpsters they could have stood on, so they was standing upright. There was some old gummy stuff around, and you could see some prints, you know, and they was really oversized prints. And we knew it was Dogman, but there wasn't. We was in downtown St. Louis. I mean, we was walking around there, you know, with 308s and pistols, and there wasn't no place for these things to be. Nothing showing up on their equipment. And so, you know, we was in the blind hunting. So we spent the whole day, rest of the day, just walking different alleys. You know, we split up. We're walking different alleys, radioing each other every once in a while. And we was going to come back to that point later in the afternoon, thinking that they might be making rounds. And he had went north, and I had went south when we split up. And I had got into some pretty bad neighborhoods down there, and some people giving me a bad way to go and everything. And I'd ask, you know, have y'all seen any kind of big dogs running loose? Nothing. Yeah, we got big dogs. And, you know, just lying to me and all this. They hadn't seen nothing. About 7 o'clock in the evening, just getting dark, and street lights was just coming on, and we was both moving back the other way. He was over closer to the alleyway than I was. I was closer to the river. And as I came up from the river, there was something that ran in front of me. I couldn't see it because there wasn't no light. I just seen shadows. And I radioed him, my partner, and told him that there was something running in front of me to watch coming towards you. So he got him spot out in the open where he could watch, like I was pushing towards you. And he said, he kept radioing to me, nothing. And finally, I came out into the open there on the river next to the arches from underneath the interstates and all. And I get right up underneath the arches and the arch. And I'm standing there thinking, well, where could it have went? And I look back towards the river, and here they come up off the bank, both of them at the same time. And I was right up against, I guess, what would have been the furthest north part of the arch, or it may have been the furthest west part of the arch, I'm not certain. But I just kind of got up against it. And they walked right up underneath it on all fours. And I shot both of them when they was both on all fours when I shot both of them. I shot one, hit him right in the shoulder, and just like I was shooting a deer or whatever, but hit him in the front shoulder to put him down. And the other one I hit in the neck and broke his neck, broke his spinal column, and killed them both right under the arch. And we immediately pulled out covers from our packs and covered them up because there was people out and about still. And they was running over there to see what it was, and we was having to keep people away, because we didn't want to let them know what was underneath there at that time. And somebody called in, pause it. Okay. The police was coming, and they said that whoever had called in had reported that we'd killed 2 people, and they'd covered them up and was standing there with them and wouldn't let people render aid to them because we was keeping them back. And they was armed and everything. So when the police come rolling in there, the first 2 squad cars got there at the same time. They come out and they've got their weapons drawn, telling us to put our weapons down. And I've got my credentials out already because I know somebody said they was coming. And I'm trying to tell them who I am, and they're not listening. And 2 more cars get there, and one of the guys walked up behind me out of the second 2 cars. And he actually he walked up behind me, and then he looked around at my credentials from the side, and he seen who I was and what I was with. And he had everybody put their guns away and said, get all the civilians back, that this was operation and it was not for the public. And they backed everybody off as far as they could get them. And we waited, and we had a deuce from the National Guard Armory come in there, and 4 volunteers. And we kept them covered, and we loaded them on that deuce and took them to the airport where we had landed in our helicopter and loaded them onto the helicopter. And the National Guard Armory guys never got to see them. They just knew they was bodies. They didn't know what was in them. Because as we was loading, we wrapped them where they couldn't see what it was. They just know that they was, about 300 pounds. after we got them loaded, we just loaded them back up, got in, and we had a pilot with us. They took off, and we flew them back to Virginia, and both of them was wild. And that was the St. Louis hunt.
Okay, so
I'm
gonna ask a couple quick questions because because I've never heard the encounter myself. So,
okay.
Now the police show up, and they've got their weapons drawn on you.
Yep.
So they were unaware of these creatures.
They know something was in the area, but whoever called in said that we had killed that.
Oh,
one of us had killed 2 people.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And that we had covered them up, and that we was keeping people away from them and wouldn't let us render aid.
Okay. So the police did know that there was something out there, but because of the call in, they automatically assumed that you were 2 guys.
Had killed 2 people.
Yep. Okay. Now that I understand now. All right.
Especially since we covered them up.
Right. So now there's not a lot of woods around that area. What do you think? They came from across the river, or was there any speculation?
I've got a speculation they came either up or down the river, because once I went down and got on the river coming back up, I found a bunch of tracks on the river coming up from down there.
Okay.
So they was using that river. And they had places to cross it and get back and forth. But they had plenty of alleyways and little bitty roads in there, and there's not a lot of woods.
Right.
There was hardly any cover. So what cover they used was man-made cover. So,
that's probably why they were on all fours, trying to blend in as much as they could.
Blended in as much. But when they stood up, that's what gave them away. If they hadn't stood up and if they'd ran off on all fours, they probably never would have got reported.
Right.
But the eyes, he said, I never will forget that man, the fear in his face when he talked about the eyes on them creatures. It was just unreal to hear him talk about it.
Right. That's crazy. That's a crazy, crazy story. And, that just goes to show that they're there in the city. There is no boundaries, that these things, they don't travel by boundaries, and they certainly don't care about man-made boundaries. So.
No. Atlanta, Georgia. I'll share a really short one right here.
Okay.
We got time.
Yeah, we've got time. Now, really quick, I just want, during that upload, if you hear pause, that's Victor saying pause, because as of right now, he is in the hospital. Thankfully, with no wounds, but in the hospital. That's all we can share as right now. But that's what the pause statement is for. So, all right, ready when you are for the Atlanta.
Okay, Atlanta, 4 years ago, we got a call that from the DNR, done right, again, the security guard went into the bottom of a pizzeria. They had asked him to go downstairs and get something to bring upstairs for the pizzeria. Downtown Atlanta, Ponce de Leon, actually, if anybody knows where that is. And he walked around back, went downstairs, went into the basement, got what he wanted, and it had started out. And he said he heard something growl. and he took the stuff upstairs and told the owners. And the owners said probably a dog or something's got in down there, and they didn't pay much attention to it. But it worried the security guard, so he went back down there, shined his lights around, couldn't see nothing, but it stayed on his mind. And the next day, when it was good and light, he went down there, and he found where something was bedding, and he didn't know what it was, and he didn't know how it was getting in, and it wasn't there then. So, and this was during broad daylight when he was down there. So he works on his shift, and his shift was like from 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock. I think is what his shift was. And he said later that afternoon, it was getting dark, and they asked him to go back down there and grab something, which he done just about every day for them. And said the same thing happened again. And he didn't even tell the owners this time, but he called the city police, and the police went down there, shined their lights around. 2 police officers seen eyes and said that they needed to call animal control, that there was some big animal down there, and they said it's big. And they called animal control. Animal control came out, said he was going to set a trap, so he went inside the door about 5 or 6 foot, set a trap, put food in it, and left it, and said he'd be back in the morning to check it when they opened, where he could get in. And he showed up the next day. They'd been open for a while. The owner goes down there to unlock the door for him, and the door's off the hinges. The cage is tore all to pieces. The little old cage that he had set was just tore to pieces. And animal control said, we've got a big cat that's staying down here, that's made this home at night. And I don't know why it's doing it at night. That seems like that'd be when it hunt, but it's going out during the day and coming back at night. Well, they searched the whole place. They've seen where it was bed and everything. DNR comes in, looks at it, see what they need to do. And he sees the tracks outside. He says that he'll handle it, and he calls us. And I got sent down there because it was my home state. And I get down there and go to the place, knowed it well, been there several times, walked in, talked to him. He told me it was open. And I've got my vehicle up at the top of the hill, and I get in my vehicle and pull it around down there, and I walk up beside the buildings and look, see what the tracks was, come back down there, and open the doors to go in. As soon as I did, I heard the growling, and I pulled my pistol and got my flashlight, closed the door behind me, turned the flashlight on, shine it, and there's the yellow eyes. And I said, there's one way out of this. I said, you can live or you can die. I said, you can walk out of here and get in the back of this black vehicle. We'll go back to Virginia. Or I'll kill you right here or you kill me. That's basically what I said. I ain't sure that's the exact words, but, you know, that's the gist of it. And it growled and growled and wouldn't give an answer and came out and false charged. I held my ground and, you know, just giving it every chance in the world. And I spoke to it again. It was a werewolf. And I said, I don't know your name, but I'm Colonel Johnson. If you're from the breeding program, I can go out there and find out real quick. If you're from the breeding program, I can turn on the computer and do a locate and see if you are. And I said, you won't get out of this building and get past me. And it uttered something that was unintelligible. I couldn't tell what it said. And then it said, don't be seen, or something other like that. And I said, you won't. And I said, you going back to Virginia? And it said yes. And I walked to the door and opened the door, walked out there and opened the back door on my vehicle, which is black and blacked out. And I told him to go. And he went straight in the back of it. Nobody could have seen him as fast as he moved. I got in the vehicle, walked in upstairs, told him the problem was taken care of, got back in the vehicle, started towards Virginia. Drove all the way to Virginia with him in the back of the vehicle. And drove straight through with him. And he was reprogrammed. And that's one of two that's ever went back in with me. In my entire career. But
So that was one of two that ever got reprogrammed. Now, when they're reprogrammed, do they remember what they did prior to everything, or no?
Yeah, they remember. All they do is go back through the program.
Okay.
The training, the listening. No, we don't do nothing to them. That chip's the only thing we've ever done to them, other than, you know, talking and
right,
and playing messages for them, and, you know, subliminal persuasion, basically.
Did he, when you were in the vehicle, did he say anything to you?
Yeah,
or?
he talked. Yeah, he talked.
What, did he just kind of go off kilter or something, or?
Got lost, basically, is what he said, and couldn't find his way back out of Atlanta.
Okay. Huh.
And he was hiding at night because Atlanta's booming at night.
Right.
And he was safer moving during the day, he felt, but he was just going about a mile radius is what he was leading me to believe from where he was held up at. I mean, there was a park probably a mile from where he was at. He could have got in and held up better.
Right.
But he didn't. But anyway, I took him back.
That's pretty cool. So, I guess sometime when you get out, I mean, me and you have already talked, we're going to do another Q&A with people. I've got a couple more phone numbers, and I'm looking forward to that. I know you like doing those.
Yeah, I enjoy.
And then in the near future, we'll be able to discuss this last hunt that you went on. Yeah. Which will be your last hunt, actually.
Yep, my last hunt. I'm
And
done.
from all the times that, since I've known you, I think you've went on 4. In every hunt, you've always come back with a wound, and this is the one that you didn't, but you're still in the hospital. So go figure.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, you know the reason.
yeah. Now, I guess I don't really know. I'm thinking about some questions that I've read that people have asked.
Okay.
And a lot of the questions that I'm seeing are from new subscribers that just haven't listened to the whole 50 something videos that we have together. I know one of them, and it seems to be popping up a lot. The difference between the Dogman and the werewolf. Hopefully the people that have asked that question can see that you're on tonight and can hear that answer.
Okay.
So a Dogman is...
Dogman averages about 7.5 feet to 8 feet in height. They have a snout. They have pointed ears, canine type ears. They have a tail. They have hands similar to a human. They have long nails, probably 3.5 to 4.5 inches long on their hands, sort of on their hind legs. Then on their colors range from black to gray to brown to silver even. Their average weight of 300 to, for a healthy one, 300 to 350 pounds. In the werewolf, average height for a werewolf is about 8'4" to probably 9 foot. They have a flat face like a human. It's leathery kind of, got some fur on it. Kind of like the old Lon Chaney werewolf face from 1941. If you look at that movie, that's kind of what they resemble in the face and the ears. They don't have pointed ears up on top of their head. They don't have a tail. Their arms and legs are built just like a human's. Their hands have claws on them, but they're a lot shorter than that of a Dogman. They're probably maybe 2.5 inches long. But I've also seen them nails ripped through 1/4-inch plate steel. So they're a lot stronger. Their feet's just like a human's. Got very short nails on them, maybe 3/4 to an inch long nail on them, claw. They don't have a muzzle that sticks out very far. It comes out a little, but not like a dog's. I think a lot of werewolves and Bigfoot get mixed up together in misidentification today.
Right.
Okay, size. And their color ranges black, dark brown to gray mostly. about the basic colors of them.
And they don't, in a human, if they get bit by a werewolf, they're not going to change into a werewolf, correct?
No, they're not.
And they don't change from human form.
By a werewolf, you're going to be lucky to live.
Yeah.
So, and you're not going to change into one.
Right. They're born a werewolf. They die a werewolf. They don't change into your next door neighbor.
No.
Yep. Okay.
They don't change.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of these questions that people are asking are in the 50 plus videos. Just go back and listen to those. The answers are all right there. And actually, one person, I spotted this last night, and a person asked what your MOS was originally.
Mine was this 8542 sniper.
So there you go.
It's I think it's changed now to 3013 or something other. I think it's the new number for it. They've changed numbers out since way back when I was there. So it's changed. All numbers has changed. Right. So.
All right. I saw someone that was a question someone asked. It was a very simple, and it stuck out for me for a minute, and I was like, oh yeah. So I don't know. Is there anything that you want to talk about before we end tonight, or?
Just everybody get out in the woods and enjoy it. Don't worry about these things being there, because it's highly improbable that you're going to see one.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot to be able to hunt one of these things down to start with. So special training, everything to be able to do that. So
yeah, that's another thing. You can't. The average Joe off the street can't say, "Hey, I've studied these creatures for a couple of years. I'm fascinated with this. Can I join your team?"
No, you can't. So you got to be military. You got to be coming out. Actually, you got to have so many confirmed kills in action. There's certain things that you got to, certain requirements that we require. And usually we get probably 100 applications a month, and we might look at 2 of them that we think would be able to do the job. I've got to replace 6 agents right now, maybe 7. It depends on what Roy does. This last mission was costly, so it cost me 5 agents.
Now that's something that I know we were going to end the upload, but when you said you get applications, now are the guys that are coming out, are they referred to you guys by someone, or how does that process work?
Sometimes they're referred, and we send out information when people are coming out, when there's a lot of people coming out at one time, to see if people's interested for a job. It's a well-paying job. It pays really good. So, but a lot of people apply because they see what the weekly salary is just to start. That ain't counting bonus money. So, but then, they get weeded out real fast.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, all right. Yeah, like you said, you just go outside, enjoy nature. It's beautiful. I mean, these things have been there since the beginning, and if you haven't had an encounter yet, chances are you might not. You know, I mean, you might get a glimpse of one in the distance, but
that's about your best thing that you'll ever, might see one. Might. It's very slim.
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting slimmer every day. So,
all right,
get out and enjoy.
Yeah. Like I said, one of my favorite experiences that he had shared with us. Really do miss him a lot. I hope you all enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. I'd like to thank you all for supporting the channel. It is, after all, your support that keeps this channel growing and going, and what gives us all a place and a chance to share our experiences and theories, judgment-free. Everyone is treated with the respect that we deserve, so thank you. Please stay safe, happy, healthy, and ever vigilant, keeping an eye on our children, pets, family, and friends. These creatures are real, they are out there, and they are dangerous. Share this information with those you love and care about, and it may just help save their lives someday. Until next time, never stop asking questions, never stop searching for the truth, and God bless.